What is my proudest athletic moment? My proudest moment has to do with tennis, covering the U.S. Open Championships in 1984. The first match was supposed to be start at noon and be over at a reasonable time. Then the women's finals came, and then the match between Jimmy Connors and John McEnroe was the other men's semifinal. So I went up on the tower. We started recording about 11 o'clock. Well, it was after 5 o'clock, after we were supposed to be off the air, when Connors and McEnroe even got on the court. So I've been sitting there since 11 o'clock in the morning. So that match went the limit. It went tiebreaker, tiebreaker, tiebreaker. At 10 o'clock that night, Trabert said to me during a commercial, good old Tony, Tony said, man, you've been up here a long time. Don't you have to go to the bathroom? And I hadn't, the tennis was so good, I really, honestly, had not thought about it up until that point. But once he primed the pump, I got thinking about, whoa, yeah. So the match went on till 18 minutes after 11. So 12 hours and 18 minutes I'd been up on that tower without relief. In sports and broadcasting and in playing and being an athlete, I've been lucky enough to come close to being at the top of the game in every facet of athletics that I undertook. It was a wonderful, wonderful youth. And then I got into the broadcasting business totally by accident. And it seemed that everything I did in the broadcasting business worked out like I wanted it to work out. I knew it was what I wanted to do with my life when I first did it. And everything was successful, and things just rolled right along, and everything was so good, and it seemed that I was on the A team in every event that took place. But I went through a period of time where the thrill of being at the top of the heap, the thrill of being successful, wasn't good enough. So I became an alcoholic. I still am an alcoholic. They say you never get over it. I was playing Class C baseball in the Cardinal chain, and I had played two summers. We had the same manager both summers. That's where I got to know Mickey Mantle very well, and helped him get to the Betty Ford Center, by the way. And I could tell you a million funny stories about that. Mickey said to me, do they get into that religious crap out there at the Betty Ford Center? I said, yes, they do. He said, well, I don't want to go. I said, I think you ought to go. And so he finally went. And you're not supposed to make any phone calls. You're supposed to be isolated, cut off entirely. Mickey called me one night about midnight from the Betty Ford Center. I said, you thinking about leaving? He said, no. He said, I told you, I promised you I was going to stay full time, and I'm going to stay. He said, but I want you to promise me something. I said, what? He said, if you ever see me take another drink after I get out of here, I want you to promise me you'll kill me. I said, that's in somebody's hands. There's somebody else from me. I can't do that. Some say that I got to pour about 4 lifetimes into one. And that, I think we have, Joe Foss and I are similar. Maybe so. And as I approach the milestone of 9 decades on this planet, I recognize that I've had more than my share of blessings. But had I not invited Jesus Christ into my life along the way, then Joe Foss' life would have added up to merely stuff. It would have been a good story with some intriguing turns in the plot and some great pictures to show for it. But that would have ended up missing the mark. It is Jesus who completed my story for me. And because of his grace, I'll always be grateful. Until that day when he says that my walk on this earth is done, I'll just keep on being glad to be here, being glad to be anywhere, and thanking the Lord for one more day. Isn't that great?